Hello again, everyone. Welcome to the Options Mentor. And once again, we have all-time highs in the SPX. So this week, I'm going to talk about something a little bit different that you could explore, maybe paper trade or live trade if it's right for you in the SPX. This particular option spread is very common. Let me share my screen here. And it is a butterfly. Now, there's a lot of different types of butterfly trades. Butterfly basically is selling two options in the center or whatever number, and then buying half as many on each edge. So in this case, two in the center, one long up here, one long down here. Now you're looking for this to stay, of course, inside this graph long enough for you to accumulate your theta, which happens every day. Here you can see it's about $17.50 a day in theta. And we're going to look for 8 or 10%. This trade is a modeling here on Sunday. I'm using the close numbers of Friday at 55.67, and it's trading at $9.40. I went out 26 days to August 2nd. I think that would be good the whole week if you wanted to go out and look at a butterfly. I think that's a good expiration. You could go out one more. I wouldn't come in any sooner. When you come in a little sooner, you don't get as much room. You will get faster theta decay, but it's a little more trouble to repair it if it goes against you. And also I want to mention that you could do this with puts or calls, and you could do it on either side of where we're trading. So we're at 67. Now I modeled this at 60. You could do it at 65. You could do it at 70. But what I did here is it's a balanced butterfly. That's the only butterfly I'd be interested in doing whenever the VIX is at lows we haven't seen since back before the COVID stuff in early 2020. So here we have a VIX of 12.48. Of course, you know, I talk all the time about long Vega trades, calendar stagnums. Those are all great here. If you want to try something else that's short Vega for whatever reason, this would be one. Now, it is short Vega, but the reason that I like it here, even though you wouldn't normally want to get short Vega whenever we're at lows in volatility, is because if it does go down, which is when volatility normally go up, you will actually just take it off down here to profit. And I know you're going, wait a minute, Mark, if it goes down, volatility goes up, won't that work against us? It doesn't seem to affect flies as much in that regard. I understand what you're saying, but I've done these many, many, many times, and this does work. If you put this on and it goes down, particularly if it goes down quickly, you could be out of this fairly quickly. And either way, if you get down here around this lower break even, just take it off at whatever profit you have. Many times I've had 8 and 10% with a move down there. So right now it says if you just look at what it's modeling, about $75 you would take in, which wouldn't be quite 10, but I would still take that if I had to, because I was down here and I don't want to adjust it. And hey, there's nothing wrong with that level of profit either. Of course, this is per contract. And if it stays here, we do nothing. We just let theta decay in our favor. The only way we have to take any kind of action, if you get up in here, you're going to have to either repair the trade or what we call an adjustment, or you could simply take it off at a loss, which I don't normally do. I normally adjust them. A lot of people asking in the comments about adjustments. Adjustments is something I teach over at arimer.com every day. All the links for that, if you want to be there with me and learn all those things, they're there in the description of my video, of all my videos, actually. You can go there and you can get the links to go over and check out what we do there. I have sessions there every day, or Monday through Friday. So this is my idea for this week. This is something you could look at putting on. You could put this actually on earlier in the day or later in the day. I don't think there's necessarily a perfect time of day to put on a trade like this. A lot of times I do wait till the last 2 or 3 hours of a session. Nothing wrong with that. But if you wanted to wait an hour in or something into the session and put on something like this, I think it's fine. Now, of course, when you put this on, what are we saying? We're saying we don't think we're going to go a lot higher really quickly, right? Why would we put this on? So just remember what you're the opinion you're expressing with this trade is. You're saying, hey, we're going sideways to lower, or you're more concerned about lower. And if we do go up, I do have some room. We're going to have to get up over 5,600 for you to have to do anything. Now, this week we do have I think it's the CPI on like Thursday, and I think the PPI on Friday. So there's a little news coming this week, but it doesn't mean that you can't do this trade. And of course, there's a lot of news around the presidential race here in the U.S. I don't know how much that's going. It doesn't seem to have affected the market. I don't think it's going to affect the market. The only thing the market doesn't like is uncertainty. I don't think that the market really gives a lot of regard to who's running and what party. All they know is they don't want anything where there's a lot of things up in the air, a lot of uncertainty. They don't like that. But whether they keep President Biden on the ticket or they get a new one, I don't think it's going to affect the market, but that remains to be seen. Now, when we get closer to the election, you can start seeing the market posture a little more. But by and large, the market now is looking at what the Fed's doing. I had to laugh. I was thinking to myself this week about, there's an old saying called, you can't fight the Fed. Well, as a matter of fact, you can fight the Fed and you can win. And the reason I'm saying that is late last year, the market said, hey, we're going to have all these rate cuts next year. So we're going to go up. If we don't get them, well, it won't be so good. Did we get them? No. What'd the market do? Keeps going up. And the market keeps continually rolling it forward. Oh, maybe we'll get a rate cut in September. Maybe we'll get a rate cut by the end of the year. Maybe we'll get one rate cut. Maybe we'll get two. But no matter what's the market done? It keeps going up. So anything that the market takes as encouragement that we could get a rate cut, of course, we'll have a bullish, reaction. But besides that, even if the Fed would probably have to outright come out and say we're raising rates, then I think the market will probably have a pretty good pullback. But short of doing that or some kind of other untoward geopolitical news, I think we're least likely to stay here. Could have a healthy pullback. That's part of any healthy market. This is not a healthy market. You can read that everywhere. There's no breadth to the market. We're going up on the SPX is up on the year, basically on 7 stocks, primarily one. 40% of this year's gain in the SPX is NVIDIA with the AI craze. So anything goes wrong in that space, we'll have a pullback. So I wouldn't be afraid of having a little bit of a downside protection. As a matter of fact, I'd recommend it because we are so overextended, and it is time at least for a pause and maybe a pullback to refresh. So I don't think I wouldn't be wringing my hands worrying that we're going to keep skying, but we could. But anyway, folks, that's what I got this week. And please check out all my links there for arimer.com in the description. And tell your friends about this channel. It does keep growing. And I'm here to start you out on your option education journey. And I will be back with you next week. Have a great trading week. Bye-bye.